So my name is Aspen Vulture. I'm the Assistant Director of Student Engagement at the Entrepreneurship Center, which is part of Keenan Flagler Business School. And today I'm here with Nada, who's the president of our Carolina Challenge. And we're going to talk to you about the pitch party. So just a quick overview on the Entrepreneurship Center. If you haven't run into us before, we are in the Keenan Flagler Business School, but we serve entrepreneurs across campus, and you don't have to be a part of the business school to participate in our programs and courses. We're really passionate about bringing you those resources and helping you solve complex problems that lead to positive social change. So if you're interested in more resources with our center, you can go to eship.unc.edu to learn more about that, and then also follow us on social media for updates. But one of my favorite parts of my job is working with the Carolina Challenge. Particularly, it's always a really exciting thing to see. The Carolina Challenge has been going on campus since 2005, and it's led by a group of students who are passionate about empowering other student entrepreneurs. So each year, as you can see, we engage around 500 students through our various workshops and competitions. The pitch party is our biggest fall event, and this is the first time that we'll be hosting it virtually. So we're really excited to test, kind of be entrepreneurial ourselves and test out a new format, but still give you the resources to really help get your ideas off the ground and growing to the next level. We award up to $25,000 in prizes throughout our events and in support of our Summer Accelerator at Launch Chapel Hill. And the pitch party, which we're going to talk about throughout the rest of this session, is kind of your first touch point with the Carolina Challenge. You don't have to have any experience, and it's open to all students across campus. So Nada's going to dive into a little bit more detail on that. But just to keep it on your radar, we do have a spring event that will be rolling out around mid-spring semester. So definitely keep that on your radar and in your plans for the rest of the school year. And we also do, as I mentioned, support the Summer Accelerator. So if you're looking for a way to spend your summer, just know that we do help support fellowships to people who participate in the Carolina Challenge. So if that's of interest to you and your venture next summer, please feel free to talk to me, and I'd be happy to give you more information on how to qualify for that. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Nada. And like I said, we'll have some time for Q&A at the end, and I'll be monitoring the chat. So feel free to drop a note if you have any questions.
So hi everyone, my name is Nada. I'm a junior. I'm a business major at Keenan Flagler. I'm a PPE minor, so this is my third year with the Carolina Challenge. I started out my freshman year, and then I took over as vice president last year, working mostly with Make-a-thon and helping the organization of that. And this is my first year taking over the lead for pitch party planning. And it's always been one of my favorite events. It's a lot of fun usually. It's a great time to meet a lot of student entrepreneurs and have a blast with those pitches. This year, we're really excited to kind of introduce a new format just because we're moving it virtually. So a lot of the things we've done in the past aren't working. So we are taking a big step in being entrepreneurial ourselves, as Aspen has mentioned. My information is there in my email, so please contact me if you have any questions. You'll be getting a lot more notifications from me moving forward. So we love to have you guys participate. But just to give you the rundown on how we're changing things this year, to start off, eligibility for the pitch party is the same as it's been in the years past. So all current UNC undergraduate students and graduate students are eligible to participate. UNC recent grads and alumni are also eligible to participate if they've graduated within the past year. So if they have a member, they can do that, as well as teams who have at least one UNC connection. So outside students are allowed to participate so long as there is one person that has UNC affiliation on their team, and you must not have placed at a previous pitch party. So if you've won a cash prize at another Carolina Challenge event, you're not allowed to re-pitch unless you make significant changes to your venture or you've shown some sort of significant growth or change in business model, just to keep things fair and allow people new opportunity to win those prizes. So this year, the way we're switching it up is we're allowing a first round submission. And a lot of you guys have seen already, we're doing a 60-second pitch that is to be submitted with your application. So in years past, it's just been a casual sort of elevator pitch. You grab someone that's walking by your table and you pitch to them on the spot. But because we have so many, because we've had so many participants in the past, we want to limit it to how we can do it virtually. So this is why we're asking for that 60-second pitch. We're going to have judges review the pitches and then decide who's moving on to the live pitches. So just kind of like some rules we've laid out with this is that it can not just be a voiceover. So if you do have a presentation, if you're presenting sort of through Zoom and you have your picture in the side, that's allowed. If you just pop up at the beginning and say your venture name, that's allowed. We want one person to be on camera at least at one point during your video. So it cannot just be that voiceover or just be an animation or just be a picture. We want to see some sort of personality and pitch coming through for that. And likewise, there's no voice or speed editing that's altered. So in other competitions, other entrepreneurship centers, they've mentioned how people have tried to speed up the talking. So putting it on like 2 times speed just so they can fit more information into that minute. We don't want to allow that. We want it to be really fair. So we don't want any type of speed altering for that. Otherwise, any type of editing is highly encouraged and we would love to see it. So as creative as you can be, show pictures of your prototype if you have one, or your app design, or if you just want to show a presentation or show one slide, you can have as much leeway as you want with that. And this is kind of just an example. Although it's a live pitch, it is only 60 seconds, kind of like the content that we're looking for. So I'm just going to play this right now and give you guys.
It was my second week of college, and I was out of shampoo. So I took an Uber to the nearest Walmart, and by the end of the day, that bottle of shampoo ended up costing me a little bit over $20 after you factor in the price of the Uber. I needed college supply. Imagine the Fruit of the Month Club, but at the beginning of every month, rather than fruit, you receive toiletries, things like shampoo or soap or deodorant. In a random anonymous sample of 14% of the people living in my hall at the University of Dayton, 42% of people surveyed said that they would purchase a subscription to college supply if it existed, and just over 30% said that they would at least consider it because it would increase time, decrease stress, and improve the overall health of everyone. As a current freshman in college, I am the target demographic for college supply, and I can tell you that it is much needed and an underserved market because it's college simplified. Thank you.
Yeah, so like it's quick, it's to the point. He got his idea across. We're not looking for a lot of effort in terms of like the editing, but just getting your idea across and kind of giving us your elevator pitch like you would do in person, but just making it virtual. And then sort of following that, our second round will be live pitches that will happen over Zoom, and that will be November 5th from 5 to 7. Finalists will be notified by November 1st if they have been selected to move forward. And the way this will work is that in years past, what we have done is split up participants into different stages. So we have an early stage track, a late stage track, a graduate student track, and then a social ventures track. That's just how it's worked in the past. We're going to wait and see the applications that we get this year and decide how we're going to split it, but it'll be something along those lines. So when you get notified that you're a finalist, you will come back and participate in one of those sections. So you will compete with all of the early stages. If you're an early stage venture, you will compete against all the late stages if you're a late stage venture. And the way we are doing that is you will have a time slot that you will come in front of a group of judges, and you will have 5 minutes. We ask that you pitch for at least one of those minutes. Otherwise, it is up to the team's discretion in terms of how they want to structure their time with the judges. Some teams may want to have a presentation. Some teams may want to do a Q&A. Again, all we're asking for is that 1 minute of pitching, just so it gives them the freedom that we do at the years past pitch parties where teams can talk to judges however they want. We want it to be as structureless as possible. So that's what would happen for that live pitch. You would have your time slot. You would come in. And then from those breakout rooms, the top 2 teams will be asked to pitch live in front of everyone in a main stage. And that will again be another 1-minute pitch. And that's just to decide the best live pitch award. So that's how we're structuring it this year. And kind of going on to awards, like I've previously mentioned, you will be in those stages. So the first place and the runner-up from each room will be awarded a cash prize. We will be giving out up to $5,000 in prizes, with final amounts being announced during the final awards. And then following that, the top 2 teams that get to repitch will be eligible to win further cash prizes. So this year, what we're introducing is the Heel Print Award. So we're kind of really excited about this because we get to use the video submissions that you guys send in to sort of spread it on social media and seeing who has the most buzz online, as well as the Audience Choice Award, which will be that best live pitch. These will be an additional cash prize on top of whatever money you earn from being a number 1 or a runner-up. So this is the application. Applications are due October 22nd. Your video will be submitted with that application, as well as just like some information about your team members. That's all you need to apply. And you have up until October 29th to make any changes to your application, to update your video or any team information. You can send that up to us by October 29th. That's the final deadline so we can turn it around and have it back. And just to kind of give you guys some pitch tips about what we expect and what we want in terms of content. Because it is only 60 seconds, you would think you don't have to know as much about your venture, but that's when you need to know the most. You really have to know what you're talking about in order to condense it down as much as possible, because you have to be able to hook the judge's interest and not worry about looking cute or trying to do anything, because you only have that 60 seconds to really get the attention needed. You have to know and explain sort of the current state of your product and your idea, your innovation. Being able to effectively communicate that is the most important thing. If you take one thing away from this in that 60 seconds, the judges should at least need to know what your product is. So definitely emphasize that. A lot of people tend to forget. As well as project the near or long-term goals. Just a quick second about where you're trying to head with this and what the future looks like for your venture, and where the Carolina Challenge can help support you. That's always a great thing to add in, is how you would use the prize money, what you need the prize money for. Judges love to hear that. And then just conveying the information concisely. Again, that 60 seconds time slot is not very long. So knowing exactly what you want the judges to take out of it is the most important thing. And a great advantage that we have by making things virtual this year is you get to try out different types of delivery. So because you get to film and refilm that 60-second video as much as you want, you have multiple times to make a good first impression. So definitely conveying enthusiasm and commitment, and speaking with a strong voice, making eye contact, preparing your background. These are all really good tips to help make sure you get the best point across to the judges and making the best first impression. And a big thing that we recommend is pitching or sending a practice video to people around you, sending it to your friends or parents, and just getting some people's ideas about it. That'd be a great way to help you better learn where you can improve, as well as putting the best foot forward. And these are all tips that we've adapted from Professor Tim Flood, who's a great friend and of the Carolina Challenge and of the Entrepreneurship Center. He's a great guy. He's also teaches a communication class and works heavily with the summer cohorts and fellowships. So if you have any questions and would like to reach out to him, he's a great, great person that will be more than willing to help you perfect your pitch and work out things out there. So if anyone has any questions, me and Aspen would be happy to take it at this moment and talk to you guys more about Pitch Party.
Hi, I had a question. Sorry.
Go ahead.
If you're a part of multiple ventures, can you apply if it's a separate venture?
I think that you can feel free to apply, but just if you are a part, if you're selected to be a finalist, you would kind of have to choose which one you would participate in, because we will likely be scheduling some of the pitch sessions at the same time. So just know that if you do kind of make it to that final round, we'll be asking you between the 29th and the 5th to select which team you would like to do a live pitch with.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I had a quick question regarding feedback, just so you can continue to improve on your idea and your pitching style and stuff. What type of feedback can we expect from the judges? If you're not selected, do you get like a scoring sheet back? Do you get some sort of comment sheet, some sort of something that you can take away to improve upon your skills going forward?
Yeah, so right now, at least for the first round, that judge's scoring sheet does have a place for feedback. We're going to take it, and the team is going to anonymously take the judge's information and then give it to the teams. So even if you aren't selected, you should get an email from us just with some tips or some whatever the judges comment. They also could not comment anything, so we're just going to filter that out and then hopefully get it to you guys in the best way possible.
Yeah, another resource we always have after the pitch party is with our entrepreneurship coach. So if you kind of want to break down that feedback that you get, because sometimes it can be kind of hard to get that feedback in like an anonymous form. So you can take that to Chi, who's our entrepreneurship coach, and he can kind of walk you through, what those feedback things are, and then also kind of point you in the direction of resources, both on campus and in the broader entrepreneurial ecosystem, to kind of, take those next steps based on the feedback that you receive.
I wanted to confirm the deadline for the video submission. Is it on the 22nd or the 29th?
The 22nd is the deadline for the application. So the video is uploaded with your application form. The 29th date that we said is just for alterations to the application that you submit. So sometimes we get requests from teams that while they were kind of working on their final pitch, they changed the name of their venture or something like that. So we're just going to ask that if you make any changes past the 22nd, we want to know what those changes are before the 29th so that we have your correct information going into the final event.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people tend to add or drop group members, so it's always nice to have the final data on who exactly will be pitching and who will not.
Is there a deadline for the 22nd? Is it 5 p.m., midnight?
Right now it's scheduled at midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Can you describe the scope of the early stage venture, section of the competition?
Yeah, so the way we tend to break it down would be early stage, you have just an idea. A lot of late stage ventures tend to have prototypes or have already started selling or more up and running websites and apps. But in years past, people have come in with just a piece of paper that is just their idea. So having not developed even a business plan or anything yet, that's why we tend to want to separate those two ventures. So we have a better opportunity to make it more fair for more teams to win money.
Yeah, and you'll have a opportunity with that application to kind of, elaborate on where you think that your venture is. So definitely feel free to kind of, give us that input in your application of where you think you might fall.
And could you say the turnaround time again, please, between step 1 and kind of step 2? Just walk through the process as far as timeline again. Thank you.
Yeah, so on the 22nd will be when we want applications due. That's when they will close. So we will not be accepting any new applications after October 22nd. And then the 29th will be the final day for those who have already submitted applications to make any final changes or adjustments. So anything not changing their entire venture idea, but if they want to change their venture name or add a team member, that would be the deadline for that. And then November 1st, it will be when all teams will be notified, which will be the Sunday before the pitch party itself. So everyone will know whether or not they have been selected to move forward and what stage they will be participating in. At some point in that week, we will be doing a tech run as well as having some final tips. So, and then that Thursday will be the pitch at night, will be the live pitches.
Thank you.
Just one more time for clarification. The video that's uploaded on the 22nd has to be final, but I can change anything else before the 29th? Or can I tweak the video before the 29th?
We want the video to be confirmed on the 22nd because we'll be sending it out to the judges between the 22nd and the 29th. So, you know, your pitches will already be in that evaluation stage after the 22nd. So we're really just looking for, like, if you added or dropped a team member or you changed like a minor part of your application is what we would be looking for in that time span. Did that answer your question?
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Hi. What if my idea is like created to be applied internationally, like in another country? Like, can I still pitch it, or does it need to be like an idea to be created, like I don't know, like a startup to be in the US based?
Yeah, we're open to any sort of solutions. It can be, you know, just within the US, just on campus, or internationally. We don't have any restrictions on the kind of content.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give some clarification on what defines a social venture? Like, is that AKA nonprofit, or can you give some more verbiage on that classification?
Yeah, so the part of your question, the social impact, it doesn't have to be a nonprofit, it can be a nonprofit, but we define a social venture as a venture that's solving a social problem. So that can be, you know, whether it's like the environment or education, but it has some sort of component where it's solving a social need, and it can be for profit or nonprofit. So it would be up to you, depending on what your venture is. I'm happy if you want to share more about it. You know, you could feel free, but we do have some guidelines from our social innovation partners on campus, so I can drop those in the chat window as well, and maybe that would kind of help clear that up.
Is there any way we can preview the application? I tried clicking through it just to see what kind of inputs I have to do, but I didn't want to accidentally submit an application.
I can sort of tell you more about like what's on it. Other than like submitting information about your team members, which basically looks the same, all we ask for is for you to describe your venture in 10 to 20 words. Select the category that best describes your venture, so either early or late stage, whether or not you define your venture as a social venture, and then just submitting your video link. So that's about all we're asking from our end, other than the basic demographic information about your teams.
Gotcha, thanks.
Yeah, and I think you should also be able to click through. You'll see the kind of submission button. So even if you want to just kind of enter in, like, you know, fake things like a test to click through and see everything, you should be able to look at it that way as well.
Based on how many participants you've had in the past years, and I guess how many, have y'all, I guess, calculated how many you project to participate in like the virtual session this year?
I think it's very hard for us to guess how many people we expect to participate, just because we know Zoom fatigue is a very real thing, and we understand how scattered people are. So in years past, maybe you would have gotten together with like your friends, or like you would have met someone more naturally, and it's much harder for groups to find each other virtually, especially if people are working from home and not in Chapel Hill necessarily. In the years past, we've had like over 300 students at once participating. So it's right now we're guessing and hoping for around like 25 to 30 ventures to be live pitching. But honestly, we're just hoping for the best and trying to get the word out there as much as possible. Yeah, so we just have the application linked here again. Again, that October 22nd deadline is coming up. The videos can be really casual, just a Zoom with your team, just one person videoing at home. We're really looking forward to hearing everyone's like creative ideas, and we're excited for this new type of platform and format and seeing what we can do from it here, especially with the way things are changing now. So if anyone else has any other questions, Aspen and I are here and we'll love to talk to you guys more one-on-one, or if you have anything we can touch base on right now.
Is there I'm calling via phone. Is there a website that has a little more detail on the social venture classification and information on that angle?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll add it to our main Carolina Challenge page as well, but we currently right now have it on our Makeathon website, which is our spring event. So that's just makeathon.unc.edu, and it's linked from our Carolina Challenge page. So if you go to carolinachallenge.unc.edu, you can also find a link there. So we have a session in our FAQ section of that website, which kind of highlights what it is to be a social venture. And yeah, so essentially there's kind of like the ABCs of social impact. So avoiding harm, benefiting people and the planet, and contributing to solutions. So those are kind of 3 easy ways to think about it. But if you shoot us an email, either eship at keenan-flagler.unc.edu or the like info@carolinachallenge.org email address, I can also email you what I dropped in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have any specific questions, we can definitely help you more with your venture email and better understanding like where we think you would best fit in.
On the application, would we have to specify what we think our venture is, or would we kind of be put into a category once it's all reviewed?
We ask for your input about where you would like to be placed or where you think you would be placed. But as we're reviewing the applications, if we feel like you would be a better fit comparatively with the rest of the applicants, then we'll place you accordingly. Yeah, if there's no more like broad questions, I guess that's all we have prepared today. We're really excited to host this, and like the application is linked here. There's more information at carolinachallenge.unc.edu. Obviously, feel free to shoot us an email. We can handle more specific questions that way. Looking forward to a great event, but we're happy to stay after and talk one-on-one.
Yeah, thank you, Nada. And just to reiterate, we're happy to have ventures at all stages. So if this is kind of your first step with entrepreneurship, don't feel like you have to have a fancy video. It can literally just be like you and your camera phone and sharing your idea. But if you are, further along, we're happy to have you as well. We do typically have a pretty large group of, later stage ventures. So just know that we have a place for you at the Carolina Challenge, and we're really excited to help support your ideas.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there a way that we could access these slides? I missed the game portion of the session.
Yeah, no worries. We're gonna send out a recording afterwards and also put it on the
Okay.
website. So you'll be able to kind of go back and reference it.
Okay, sounds good. And application is due on the 22nd, right? Thursday?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, at 12 p.m. 12 a.m. midnight, 11:59.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.